the range supports. So we'll see if any of that comes into play this time, and they can kind of put a big composition around somebody else like GBM or maybe Quas this time instead of an engage from the support lane. The Braum and the Sivir go out immediately with the Vlad from NRG side.
Yeah, Braum has been first picked whenever up for most of the games for the last couple of weeks here. Not going to find himself in this game either, as he was banned last game as well. Now we're actually going to get a little variation in the jungle too, because NRG decide to ban the Rek'Sai, not willing to give it away. They only have one ban left. I wonder if they actually would like to let the Taliyah go through, because assassins are a way to have success against her. If you look at the statistics, the champions with the highest win rates against her are Talon and champions like that. So the thing is that whenever you run into competitive play, things like that are so much more risky. That's mostly solo queue data.
Hey man, I used to do the Talon.
So, but anyways, they're not even going to go with it here. Mousing over the Azir that was left up for them.
Yeah, and I think they would be taking that. I mean, the Taliyah is still up. The bans were to the Ashe, actually, to shut down Sneaky's engage and Meteos in the jungle. Obviously, that Vladimir would go to Jensen as well, but what a pickup for Cloud9 to get, and it's actually the question, because as we talked about, that Karma is still so big.
There's a reason I keep bringing it up, Riv.
But wait, Bunny hasn't played it.
He hasn't locked in, but just because the pro player hasn't played a champion doesn't mean they can't. The pro players, it's their job to learn these champions. It's their job to practice ones that
Doublets can only play Lucian. Somebody can only play this.
There you go. We'll see, though, because Reaper is, like, arguing here pretty heavily. And it looks like they're still deciding because of the focus on the Rek'Sai ban, though. Meteos has a big voice in this, it looks like, and they get the first pick, Gragas. Very interesting. There's definitely some debate going on there for the Cloud9 side. Let's see what NRG can swipe back here on the other side, because they could pick up two of them, you know, grab the Karma as well. See what they decide, though. They have the pick of the litter. Santorin, I'm very curious as to what he will drop down to for the jungle as well. Evelyn is one of his preferred champions, but I doubt that he'll actually pick it up. It's one of those flavor hovers.
NRG are sometimes down with running the pick comp. You can put the Nidalee in there.
Yeah.
Torin does love that, but they're likely falling behind early. They are in game, so it makes that much harder.
Definitely some debate going on. A lot of mid lane stuff is left up for GBM here. So it will be 1 part Karma, 2 parts Graves.
I can agree with that. There will be more parts Graves.
All right, well, we've seen a lot of people have success with Thunderlord's Graves. Dardoch is definitely one of the Graves aficionados that we've had, though, and he still is running the Strength of Ages. So it definitely just depends on the style that you like to go for.
Yep.
You know, more offensive bursty, or trying to be the unkillable, stack my true grit, keep my passive up, and get lifesteal so that you just frustrate the enemy team, never able to bring you down. Regardless, though, NRG have looked so much better when they have Karma in their lineup, and this is a very good start, in my opinion, to their draft.
See where they go with it from Cloud9 side. Jungler first. Still okay to show that Azir if you are going to take it into the mid lane. Most people don't mind the blind pick on it. Play it very, very safe. Figuring that the Karma would be picked up by NRG. The Bard Jhin combo again from Cloud9.
Yeah, and I really like that as a double round pickup, because Bard denies Jhin very hard. Bard ultimate immediately will stop the Jhin as soon as he sets up to start sniping, because he's stationary there trying to fire away. Not only is it a good combo offensively if they're both used together, but it takes away that answer from NRG, because Karma is a very flexible pick here for NRG. It could either be mid or support. So just because they've shown the Karma early doesn't mean that was a support Karma. Still necessary here for Cloud9 to take away the Bard in that second round. Grab, and now NRG are going to look to round out their team fight a little bit more with the next couple rounds, I think, because they're facing a lot of pick. Bard Jhin provides very long range pick. And Cloud9 have the very versatile Gragas, can either offensively or defensively look for those plays. Now, OQ's Twitch has been banned in some series against him, but it really has been a team-by-team preference. Some teams really scared of the team firepower that Twitch does bring. you know, towards the late game, as well as the assassination threat that you always have to be worried about in the back of your mind. He just masses over here, though, not banned and not picked, so it is going to go through once again. Meanwhile, Quas back on his comfortable Gnar that he's been preferring.
I think that's what that kind of boils down to, that comfortable Gnar. You don't really have a chance to fall behind on Aurelia. Your ult always helps out. It's kind of like what Malphite used to bring you. You get a big ult out of him, and usually he can play the lane very well. Last time we saw the swap be a very big problem there, so hopefully NRG can avoid that with this pick this time. 2 more. The mid lane now actually gets all the way to the end, so it looks like Jensen did want to see the composition he was going against overall. Azir will still be the final lock-in, it looks like, for him.
And the Trundle here, again, for Impact. Impact was very strong on the Trundle. Confident once again to go into the matchup. The one interaction, the skill I talked about, Trundle Pillar interrupting the hop, he was able to pull it off right in the opening play of the game. So he's very comfortable in that matchup. And it provides that front line that Cloud9 do need to round this composition out so that they can rely on early game Jhin picks, chasing people down with pillar spams, plus the late game security that Azir brings and that Jensen is going to bring you on that champion. Let's see what NRG are going to lock in for their final and where this Karma will go, because we're still not sure whether it's support or mid lane.
And they have a good tank, they have good damage, they still get AP with that, so you won't need a Victor. Do they go Alistar here, as Kiwi Kid likes that?
Yeah, I mean, they could have Karma versus Azir in the mid lane. You can kind of poke him down. They could opt to go with something like the LeBlanc or another assassin for GBM to actually bring the pressure to Jensen. We mentioned that other teams, that's where they were finding success against Cloud9, was pressuring Jensen in the mid lane. However, the Lissandra pick is very risky for me. It kind of puts a timer on your team, and especially since the Azir player will take cleanse, it still is difficult, you know, to set up plays for the mid lane. And that actually might be the thing that makes Santorin go Thunderlords rather than Strength of the Ages on the Graves, because if you do have that burst damage, you want to have every little extra bit in the early game if you are going to try and take it to that Azir.
From the top down, or I should say from the top and then down. NRG takes Gnar and then switches up the team. We get a bit of a different team as well coming in from Cloud9 with the Bard Jhin now. And Meteor still takes that Gragas. A lot more junglers have been turning towards that to keep their team in these fights from mid to late game. We'll see what they can do, the coaches, with their final words to the players, and they head to the back, and we're getting into game number 2. This is game point for Cloud9 as NRG are looking to keep themselves alive here. Take the time to take some pics while we're loading up for game number 1. Show us how you are watching at home by snapping a photo, tweet it to @LOL eSports, and make sure you use the hashtag LOCKIN. So hashtag LOCKIN, tweet at LOL eSports, make it decent. We know you like to watch in your boxers, but we want to see the party pictures. That still sounds bad. I'm going to stop right now. Hashtag LOCKIN at LOL eSports. Let's get on the rip for game number 2.
Hashtag show me the party.
It's NRG versus Cloud9, and we're about to be on the rift. Kobe, save me.
Party in here, the battle theater, baby. Everybody's getting excited. NRG versus Cloud9. Let's see if they can force it to a game 3 here for NRG, or if Cloud9 want to make quick work and end their weekend on a high note.
Yep.
NRG, they do have that extra teleport because they're running the Lissandra. One of the biggest differences between successful teams running Lissandra and the ones that have failed have been the early proactive teleports on Lissandra to a side lane to use your ultimate there. That is even harder on this patch, obviously, because the extra second on the channel time for your teleport, but that is still very much an option. And as we transition into the team fights as well for these teams, having Lissandra is a good setup to allowing Quas, to allowing this Gnar to get a better multi-man knockup. GBM can go in first, then the Gnar can follow up with Karma speed boost, try and set up the team for a pretty good AoE combo. Meanwhile, Cloud9, they have that long-range pick that we talk about from the duo lane, working off that for the early game, and then Azir for the late game.
Always like to see teams utilize kind of that Jhin lockdown, whether it's with a soldier. We saw NRG try to do it the other day with a Varus and a Jhin, piercing arrows into the lockdown. Can't really find the mark, but the idea is awesome if you can see it follow through each time. GBM stepping up a little bit here, probably take some early damage in this as he tries to get the wave cleared and trade back to Jensen.
Yeah, I mean, every little bit counts there. That first shard at the very end of the max range, you get extended range for breaking it on minions. Tags Jensen, even though he heals most of it back up, and is able to push the minion wave towards GBM's side. Meanwhile, bottom lane does take Krugs, takes him a little bit longer with the Jhin Bard, but he is able to arrive and soak up experience for those melee minions in the bottom side.
5-5 in mid-CS. It's all even up across the map. Actually, we get standard lanes here, so I'm actually quite excited about that. Well, it's standard.
Yeah, pretty standard lane
As I looked down again, I was like, wait, no, they're not at all.
Standard.
Dang it!
Standard lane swaps here for both teams.
Standard lane swap.
Both 1 minion apiece for the top laners, and now they're soaking experience once again. This is what we've really seen it boil down to, is the soaking up as long as you can, teleporting in on the first minion to help push the turret. However, Cloud9 again going with the variation. Impact stays a little bit longer. Now he's going to go join him. And Kiwi Kid this time, since he doesn't have the Zyra snare, can't really stop him on Karma unless you walk all the way there, have the tether already channeling. So it is going to be less shenanigans this time around and more even. The difference here is that Cloud9, as you can see on the screen, you know, Jin's a little bit slower at taking the turret, plus a little bit worse at getting last hits. If you were watching the CS when we previously had the camera on him, a couple of stray CS there for Sneaky lost because you run out of bullets, unable to time the grenade, and that's what that small CS difference there for OQ and Sneaky has been. Looks like solo gold on the top corner there, going to be given over to Gnar. Meanwhile, Cloud9 still working on it mid lane.
Huge attack. End of the line not being able to connect to a wall, and flashes for flashes. We actually have GBM saving his, which is huge.
Yep, that's what we talked about. This Graves coming to attack the Azir early. Santorin has gone Strength of the Ages, though, the more defensive route. So the extra Thunderlord's damage isn't there. Jensen does escape. Has to use his flash, though.
Yeah.
Now he has to really hug the bottom side. Should have already been hugging the bottom side, but very scary there. Stuff from Santorin. Gonna chase him out. Will they get a repeat visit? Jensen goes back to base pretty early here. Get that extra Doran's ring and return with a refillable potion as well. Interesting. Feels like he'll be able to get his mileage out of that.
I've seen that a few more times. Saw it last night as well for players. These mages that know they're going to stay there for a while in these lane swaps. Never getting attention from the junglers now as they go on each side of the stronger part that their team is holding on the map. And back to farming in the mid lane. Jensen's going to be cleaning these up. Have it in a pretty good position as well.
Meanwhile, we've swapped back as the 80s and supports are starting to push the other turrets. OQ is actually freezing for energy, so this is the first big deviation. Cloud9 started shoving immediately up to the second turret to try and take it, whereas Energy made the call to try and stop. So Energy are looking for that 3 lanes of income versus the 2 of Cloud9. And the reaction here from Cloud9, once they recognize Energy are going for the freeze rather than pushing for a second trade of turrets, is to send Meteos and Impact down to OQ's side and shove that lane back at him. Sneaky takes a magical journey along with Bunny.
Yeah. Nicely saved. Energy tries to put a first kill on the board in the top lane. Like you said, they want that lane pushed up. C9's trying to stop it there, as well as in the bot lane. Bit of back and forth. W onto Jensen. And GBM's just going to trade pretty much evenly there in mana and HP.
Yeah, you can see the reason Jensen went back in for that trade to get the shield is because he has a ward that saw Santorin. He knew Santorin wasn't actually coming, and that it was a bit of a bluff from GBM. So he decides to take the trade, stand and fight.
Yep.
And both of the duo lanes have actually gotten back up to the minion waves during all that fighting as well. Still fairly even, trying to zone out their respective top laners. Quas and Impact trying to soak. Quas is doing a much better job because he's Gnar. You can throw the boomerang as well for those extra last hits. And Quas earning himself the experience lead this time around.
Hey, if you're really good, you can farm with Pillar.
That one true damage?
There you go.
Jesus, that is ridiculously you have to get lucky too, because like a lot of the times the other minions are just going to execute it from 10 or something like that. But if you get super lucky and you're amazingly good,
there's a chance.
Then there is a chance. You're saying there's a chance. Impact though, definitely going to worry about that as he decides to meet up with Quas anytime in the future. Here comes Meteos to try and help Impact at the turret as they're getting shoved in, and both junglers are bottom.
Ooh, just on either side of the wall too.
Mirroring each other.
Nope, no love taps traded. They just back off. Actually, level 6 Meteos is probably why Santorin ran the other way. Also seeing a level 6 Jensen would have meant bad news. Turrets again up on either side of the screen as teams are just trying to pressure down, but both are defending with their top laners on that last turret. Or I should say next turret.
Yep. Mid lane trading the farm, whereas things still a little bit rough here for Impact. Level 4 on the Trundle. Quas has been so sneaky about staying in experience range. It's much easier with Gnar since you have Hop to rely upon. You have some range and defensive tools to use. But good job by him.
Jensen playing careful, has somewhat of a timer on Santorin's flash. Another reason he was able to play that safe along with seeing him earlier. So he knows this time could be scary. With those flashes just about to come back up, they may try to act on it.
As you can see on the mini-map, or not the mini-map, the little screen on the top left, Sneaky's going to get solo gold, about to finish off that turret. Meanwhile, bottom side, NRG have committed 3 people to finishing off the turret and keeping pace here. Sneaky does leave that top side frozen for Impact. And Quas is going to try and head up there to break it. Meanwhile, it is going to be an Infernal Drake, so high priority put on that early Infernal Drake for NRG. This is actually a little bit risky since GBM was recalling here, but he cancels the recall, so that's going to keep Jensen in lane, and NRG should be able to finish this without any interruption. That scream, global scream there from the Dragon is going to signal Cloud9 to make a play on the top side. Here goes Meteos, just barely out of vision. Is he out of vision?
There it is.
Yeah, he was just barely out of vision. Sneaks over the wall, has ultimate.
Don't be the guy he hops on. He's got to body slam the hop. He's trying to figure out a good way to go, and he chooses the minions in front of him. A good pillar as well. This is going to be the TP from base. That is GBM that's going to come in, and an instant cast blows him away for any further damage. Flash hit. That puts the red buff on him. The team's going to be able to come in. A very nice flash there by GBM, doing everything he can to draw this out, and it's going to work in their favor as they pick one up for themselves.
The cavalry arrives here. Kiwi Kid and OQ's in tail too. This is going to be a 3 versus 2 for NRG, but Jensen puts up the turret, and they're going to defend under it.
Trying to set up base outside, and it's going to be one last attack onto Jensen. He dodges the Q. The auto attack from Kiwi Kid, however, is enough. The turret shot from the Sun Disc takes down GBM as they go back and forth again. And Meteos is the odd one out here. He's the other one to fall for C9, and it cannot be traded back. Maybe now in the bot lane. Santorin not really wanting to go in. That burn's going to take him very low. And Sneaky just missing as well, right over the shoulder of Santorin. He flashes out of the way, and they are going to try and get the second tier turret pushed up so it does not freeze.
Yeah, aggressive move there from the Cloud9 duo to try and get that kill. All summoners blown from Sneaky, plus the teleport from Impact comes in to ensure that Quas can't chase him down afterwards. And NRG actually earn an early gold lead here. It's very small, but every little bit counts for them. The overextension up on the top side of Cloud9, not respecting that the duos have swapped back. And OQ and Kiwi Kid were heading up to that top side, has put some more money in NRG pockets that they desperately need to get this series back in their favor.
Yeah, and you could ask for more, but why do you need to work with this? This is where we need to see NRG continue to work this lead, not get themselves into a bad spot. Sometimes they let this lead sit and then create a danger zone for themselves as they let the other team just scale up.
It is a very, very small lead, and there's a huge minion wave that Sneaky has up on the top side, so NRG do have to tread lightly right now.
And look at the stark difference in the CS. GBM not even close to being 34 down this time. They were actually quite close to 10 minutes. So overall.
Thwarted.
the game going much better. Impact, however, not having a great time right now. That was just the inner flame. It wasn't the soul flare, so they don't get enough damage on the follow-up. Collateral damage comes through, and Impact is only pushed off the wave. A second tier may fall here, but you see Cloud9 acting on the same thing at the top side of the map.
You can see that's why the top laners risk so much to soak experience in the lane swaps. Impact being level 6, he's so much squishier. Quas is still holding that now 2-level lead over him, and is going to try and defend top with Kiwi Kid at his side. So he's got that extra help, and they're going to try and not trade this turret. They're going to try and get in there for the defense on the secondary one, but it's so low. Cloud9 are just going to stick around. They'll probably be able to get it anyway. Sneaky gets the last shot. Take the magical journey out.
Starting to be a bit of a health difference here in the mid lane. GBM finding that Jensen controlling the wave very well now with his short range Qs. So he'll just have to wait for everything to approach the turret. This gets dangerous now with the outer turrets being down. Cloud9 very likely to get some dives in, but they may be stopped by that control mage.
Whoa, Jensen went for the solo play.
Very likely to get some plays in. I did say dives, but that one was just outside the turret, and too many members of NRG were there to collapse. They even have the Cloud9 has the wards to almost see that was going to happen.
Yeah, if we set up the replay to see it again, I think Jensen actually just was not giving respect to the members of NRG not showing themselves on the map yet. Tried to bully GBM there and pays for it in a big way, burning his flash and going down in the process. Now it's NRG's turn. This is a bit of a power play for them. Trying to shove on top and mid. Yeah, let's see this setup here.
See this like blood in the water? He's low, I can kill him.
Yeah, he just saw Kiwi Kid. He sees the low health GBM, but not OQ.
Ooh.
And that was too much for him. OQ just running straight up the lane. It's one of those, ooh, I forgot about the extra people to have not showing themselves on the minimap. Bit of a punishment there. Looks like it will earn them that glimpse of the void as well for Quas, so that's going to do things to really re-emphasize
great fast move.
The level lead that Quas has over Impact. Wonder if it will end up mattering at all once Strundle does meet up, because we prefaced it a little bit where Quas was going to go for the Frozen Mallet build, try and keep him at arm's length, try and kite him, use the extra slow and mobility to win that 1v1. Well, now he's got it, and now he's got an item lead. If NRG can manipulate it so that he gets to actually meet up with Impact in the 1v1, then we may get to see if that actually turns into an advantage for them. But as of right now, they're sending Quas top, so probably won't be an issue, at least for the time being.
It's like a lot of love for this next Mountain Drake to be coming up, as well as the mid lane turrets. So Cloud9 is between Dragon and turret right now. Their wave being pushed up. NRG kind of toying with this blue here and Meteos. I'd rather say Impact.
And this is all 5 members of Cloud9 that are down here for the Drake. So they either want Quas to burn his teleport and then back off, or earn themselves an objective for the split push time. But Santorin gets caught!
What a lockdown. Can it be followed up, though? Santorin, some final hits in the end. OQ, being a bro, gets in front of that one. A good bro mint to catch.
Yeah.
15-15. It could be our next Dragon fight here. It looks like NRG might want it.
There is the teleport. So Cloud9 do end up getting the teleport cooldown out of NRG due to the catch on Santorin. Even so, I feel like Meteos hesitated there on the play. Didn't throw the Gragas ultimate immediately once they caught Santorin. And that might have been enough to get them the kill, but they do get a summoner lead out of the situation. Flash on Santorin burned, teleport from Quas burned.
Kiwi Kid poking from the side. NRG still kind of split in their ways. Kiwi Kid looking to get a fast tether in the fight.
Oh, Lissandra on the other side.
Walks through a ward, just dodges left on the W as well from Jin, and GBM is going to actually claw back in. Thinking the team was going to be behind him. GBM very close to going down. It's an Abyssal Scepter there for him, not Azanya's. He's forced to flash out. Santorin gets Tempered Fate, and it looks like it's a scramble right now. Cloud9's trying to get themselves back into the right position, and even NRG at that point isn't ready to engage because they themselves were trying to reposition. What a fight there. No, somebody wanted it, nobody wanted it, and they all just separated.
Not too coordinated here. Bunny actually now
still going though. Oh, the Gnar out. We're going to play around that and obviously step back.
Quas is the big man on the field here. He's the one with the 2-level lead over his opponent, and he's the one forcing the issue here for NRG. Drake is gonna, there's a possibility of a steal, but it's pretty low. Now it's 0. Santorin's able to get that one. And that's gonna be NRG adding Mountain to the Infernal Drake they already possess. Really good game 2 here from NRG so far.
Definitely the difference we were hoping to see from NRG here. They come out strong with these games. GBM's able to have a bit better of a mid lane as well. Quas with a better start. It seems that one will do good for NRG here, but not well enough to carry the team. It's everything needs to come together here. They have the karma this game. Quas is on that comfort of Gnar, and GBM's been trying to switch around. It seems like Lissandra is working for this composition. If they can get some more turrets and pick up that gold that still sits on the map that Cloud9 already has, they'll even have a bigger lead with this 2K sitting there.
And in addition, look at the itemization there from OQ. He had that extra executioner's calling even before completing the Ghost Blade. He rushed that extremely early, still when sitting on the serrated dirt.
Yep.
You know, he's trying to cut that frontline healing. Both Trundle and Gragas heal a tremendous amount, not to mention the extra Bard healing that Bunny's going to be able to do. And man, did they put a high priority on getting that thing early. We will see if that pays off, but does definitely signal killing the front line, not allowing them to regain health from disengages.
See if they can keep going in the mid lane here. NRG trying to work the short of the jungle now. Once they've spread this, they can just go back and forth between lanes. Still have that karma speed that we've seen a lot of teams utilize. Jensen at Wolf Pit, but that's an easy over the wall for him and Meteos.
And once again, sneaky on the Jhin split pushing. This has been a Cloud9 go-to strat for the last couple of weeks, which is extremely rare, but he got the wave all the way up to the secondary turret. It's dying to the second turret now, and Cloud9 defended on the other side, so they are able to stabilize here. Even though they're down 2 Drakes, they get a pick on Kiwi Kid.
Ooh, being in that side lane makes it pretty dangerous for anybody to walk through the jungle. And over the wall goes the soldier, and the kill comes in for C9.
Talked about it last game, those senior player tendencies, and Kiwi Kid walking through trying to get wards. Cloud9 find the pick. This is the momentum swinging back in their favor. Now they're pressing on mid.
And they don't have GBM. He's trying to fix what just happened in the bot lane from Sneaky's push. And now they're all out of sorts. Just a few more shots on the turret. Jensen was one away from getting it, but smartly pulls off as the team went into more engage mode than they did turret mode after hearing that Youmu's go off.
If Cloud9 convert on this turret, which is very low health, and that will actually overtake the gold lead here. NRG, a bit touch and go there. Very worried after that mid-game pick, but definitely still have control. They have the Drake lead. That means more than this tiny amount of gold where we're fluctuating just a little, couple hundred back and forth. That doesn't really mean anything right now. It's all about the recall timings where you actually complete items and about the extra neutral objectives here. Here comes a flank from GBM on the Lissandra. He does have flash. They might go for this dive.
Claws in. The team's going to react to this. He doesn't take it right away, and he gets absolutely deleted. Don't think
Goodbye, man.
Realized
GBM
that was going to happen.
Gets annihilated. Full CC lock there. Doesn't even get to ult himself. Jeez, they see the flank coming and immediately take him out.
They're pinging on the ward that's down behind. GBM saying there was a ward there, I didn't know. An unfortunate play. They seem to go in so headstrong, ready to be behind him, and then everything fizzles out immediately. And this is kind of where we see just around that 20-minute mark, 15 to 20, where NRG does start to lose control of these games, something they can go back, look, and reflect on, because it's those little plays. They seem like a great idea, and then the other team is like 2 steps ahead almost.
Yeah, they have to not let these stray kills tilt them, because they still have a gold lead. They still have 2 Drakes. They're in a good position. They just have to not worry about those couple stray kills that they've been giving up. Turret does go back for Cloud9 now, so they bring the gold back to pretty much even. And it is, again, going to be about the setup for these picks. GBM's going to get another chance at that initiation. He still has all summoner spells, but you can only fail that play so many times before Cloud9 take back more than an outer turret. NRG still very much with the possibility here, though, of making it work, and Quas is waiting to teleport in on the Gnar. Problem is, Mini Gnar, no rage at all when he teleports in. Makes it very difficult to actually have that high impact. They're pinging the ward right now, though. It might be a double teleport from GBM as well.
He could be saying, let me get this one more wave. They have that one in mid. You can see they're actually not showing too much aggression, saying, yeah, stay here. Come in with the mid wave.
Yeah, see, that Azir turret denies so much. When NRG are looking for a flank, they want to teleport in on that pink ward. You can see them constantly pinging by the mid river.
Yeah.
This Azir turret still being up dissuades them from actually going for it. Quaste's throwing poke there, just standing and taking it. But here they go, the turret goes down and initiation.
Nice, Sneaky gets taken down immediately. GBM, the Temperate Zanya's actually for him there as Bunny Fufu's Tempered Fate goes over. And it looks like that's the kill they needed.
Yep, they were able to get it. GBM did teleport flash in. However, Cloud9 cut their losses at just the AD carry going down, and they still have impact split pushing. Now comes the force at the Infernal, though. This would be Infernal number 2 for NRG, and them really stepping out to a concrete advantage. Can Quas chase him down? He has Frozen Mallet, remember.
This is where it comes into play. A few more boomerang shots. The dodge is there. The teleport can be still from Impact. Quas as well could teleport down. It is. It's going over by Blue for Impact. He's going to be right on OQ if he gets the chance, but he holds it off, and they stick to their lanes. Yeah, they actually canceled the play there. That's really bad for Cloud9. Not only did they lose the Drake, teleport being down opens up a lot. Since Quas has that Frozen Mallet, he's been working at bullying Impact. Now he's got the teleport advantage as well, and a possibility of turning the numbers in NRG's favor. This is a very good sign for NRG trying to force this series to a Game 3 versus Cloud9. See how this fight hits up. GBM's obviously going to be able to put out the damage on his Q, and Impact knows he doesn't want to stay for too long because the power of numbers is what NRG has here. Cloud9's losing control of NRG's side of the map in the way it should be.
It's mostly manifesting itself as Drakes so far for Cloud9 or for NRG.
Right.
Getting more and more potent as the game goes on. We'll see who's able to set up vision first around Baron. At the moment, NRG are working towards it. Previously, you know, it had been mostly a Cloud9 vision-dominated game. But NRG are trying to get a foothold here in the blue quadrant.
Looking for Jensen. W is the tomb up. It is for GBM. He just can't get in range yet. The team with the Locket of the Iron Solari tries to mitigate some of the damage coming in from Curtain Call. GBM over the wall. Dodges the W from Jin as well. Sneaky trying to lock these members in. GBM with the blue suede shoes may just keep himself alive. The tomb for himself. And here comes Impact around the back. He could have a kill on him first. Meteos has already fallen here. NRG is trying to clean up this fight as OQ takes down Jensen. Now they're on a Bunny Fufu as he goes over the wall. Santorin saves himself for the flash. The magical journey could mean life here for Impact, and it's going to be on to OQ now. Impact trying to fight the whole team. Here come Bunny Fufu and Sneaky now. Are they going around the smoke bomb? No, they are not, and they back out. What a fight to the end from C9 and NRG.
Ridiculously entertaining fight. Back over and under the walls. Ring around the rosy for both teams. Impact desperately chasing 3 members with about 100 health, trying to heal off of the kills.
And let's see it again.
Let's start from the beginning, boys, because it all started with a measly blue buff. Meteos was able to get that, but then he finds himself cornered. Bard ult does this. Jin ult and cover fire is why Cloud9 chases in the first place. Then GBM here, some quick moves, dodges the initial move there from Sneaky. Meteos, he also dodges another move. GBM dodges right here. He could have died already, but he's able to dodge, then heal up off his own ultimate. Impact in the back line, though, is eventually going to chase him forward. Zonia's, he survives for a little bit longer. Just a ridiculous series of events there, and NRG come out, firing on the other side. Small gold lead, still holding the extra Drakes, and the Scuttle Crab control.
everything in front of them, and they're able to clear out the wards here, putting C9 a bit of a pressure position, but I don't know if NRG really want to take a fight just like that again. That pushed everybody to their limits. You don't really know the result of that fight if it happens again. It could change.
Yeah, and Cloud9 do have a late game Azir to fall back on, remember. But if the Baron gets taken away without them knowing, NRG could... Uh-oh! Cloud9 coming in to stop it. They're going... Teleport coming in too. We're not done, Riv.
And slow down on the
teleport canceled.
flourish. Ooh,
He's gonna have to
GBM
walk
over
over.
the wall. Sneaky. That's the Duskblade onto GBM. He's actually going to Zanya's out the damage, but GBM now being forceful, controlling Cloud9 members by himself, and that's what we need to see.
Impact have walked over though. Impact is at the back with the Trundle pillar.
Oh,
Opening
no! Just when they get energy into a false sense of security, they flip the switch and turn right around. Sneaky hasn't been on the screen for these curtain calls, and with the team has been able to help capitalize on multiple kills. Again, following up halfway down the mid lane, and Cloud9 turn an oops into a hell yes.
Well, they've got 2-member advantage right now, and that should convert into at least 1 turret for them as well. Maybe they sneak back over to Baron, clear out some minions, or maybe they just go for a blue buff steal. But finally, after the fight, they actually convert to an objective. And man, is this game exciting. Touch and go here.
We'll see it again.
Yeah, let's. Okay, so this was GBM going for a solo play. Flash all in on Sneaky. He's able to Zonya's the Duskblade activation from Sneaky there, and so he doesn't get too low. Doesn't burn him out though, and that's a lot of stuff burned. Plus, Sneaky can re-engage from long range. He's a sniper.
That kill happened with nobody near him, but the soldiers.
Quasa really had a nice hop there on Impact's head, though, as Impact was trying to come cut them off. But doesn't end up meeting anything, as Bunny's able to snag him with the ultimate.
More ground gained as well. We saw the mid-tier second go down on the side of NRG following that fight. And now C9 has crept back into the lead themselves here, and have a bit of janitorial duty to do on all these wards NRG was just placing. NRG has had control of the game for the last 5 or so minutes. C9 could be taking that back.
Yeah, and you always have to remember the extra power these Drakes are giving NRG. These are some of the most powerful. 2 Infernals plus a Mountain. Really good at this stage in the game. And I'd much rather have those 3 Drakes than the tiny gold lead that Cloud9 are holding right now. So Cloud9 still have to be pretty worried about the next mid-game fight. Here comes another pick for them, though. Ooh, some harassment on Kiwi Kid. And
oh, they got it! So much! Back the 4th. The which way did he go, George?
Teleport here from Quas is canceled, so they also lose that cooldown. Cloud9 not worried at all. They have so much late game damage as well. Uh-oh, now they've turned in their sights towards the Drake. They'll probably not go for GBM. Yeah, all right, they're just gonna let GBM get out of there himself. Securing the first Drake for Cloud9 though will be Mountain. That puts more threat on the Baron. This is an Azir team that can burn down Baron pretty quickly. So both teams really have to respect that objective, keep up their vision, and turn most of their attention towards the top side of the map, while GBM and Impact are trying to split push against each other on the bottom side.
How lucky for C9, that first strike they do get is the Mountain, so they can clear these objectives even more. 30 minutes in, no more of that. Gotta wipe the slate clean. Single kills that happen and allow the C9 to get back in this one really can't happen for NRG anymore here. But again, we see it, not to blame Kiwi Kid, the support needs to ward, but going back and forth, he does not have himself in too good of positions with the way Cloud9 is controlling the map now.
That's why so many people have been picking the Jhin and the Ashe, taking this long-range initiation from the bottom lane.
Makes it impossible to ward.
Not to mention, Bunny on Bard, ready to follow up there, the Tempered Fate. All right, right now, NRG trying to control the vision around Baron. They still have GBM fluctuating between bottom and mid lane. Now he's looking for another flank, but he's stepped on a ward. He saw it, put down his pink, and now he's got to find his way out here. Impact goes left, GBM goes down.
He doesn't have
Sneaky's
too far to go.
help out too.
Now he can use the claw. He was waiting for most of the crowd control in his area to be used. Oh, Eagle Eye. First one.
Is the dead mid laner. And Cloud9 now, power play. Let's see what they do with it. Pressing straight up mid lane here.
Watching the control mage get out-controlled from a distance definitely hurts.
Control marksman, ha!
Basically. 10-8 here. Now it's a 2,000 gold lead in favor of Cloud9. We see once they get it, they take a whole lot more. And OQ doing what he can to thin out this minion wave before they reach the mid. Jensen's going to set up a base outside the base, and C9's here to stay.
The Cloud9 outpost.
Yep.
Deep in NRG territory. You know, I actually, as we see another pick here. Actually thinking about that, I wouldn't be opposed to calling things like Ashe the control marksman. She does center a lot around.
For sure.
The slows and the ultimate stuns. Meanwhile, though, Quas still rocking that glimpse of the void from earlier in the game. Hasn't really got a chance to shine with it as Cloud9 just burn that Baron down.
Wham.
Mountain Drake and it's here.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now we've hit late game. Jensen's on almost 4 items on the Azir. Can't quite complete death cap, but he's working very close to it, and that just gets so scary. When you hit that point, it means that it has to be flash initiations from GBM and Quas to lock him down. He has a cleanse, so just one is not going to be enough. They've got to have everybody in there. They have to burst down Jensen. If you leave an Azir up in a late game team fight like this, he's just going to murder everyone.
So much to watch the soldiers. You're trying to reposition. You're just getting poked all over. Also, we see lately a lot of these GAs coming out. Meteos grabs his first one. We've seen teams have 3 in the past. It's like old M5 history.
Yep.
Having as many as you can. And it actually works too. With the timers getting a bit longer, you come back up after that fight that you win, you have the whole team to go in with. Now to the top side, looks like they're gonna have the whole team to go in with here for a second tier. NRG's gonna have to sit, wait, and watch until it gets to the front doorstep.
Well, the last outer's done. So phase 1, the easiest phase here for Cloud9 is complete. Now they have to go on to phase 2, inhibitor turrets. It's a little bit more difficult facing the initiation from NRG, and they found Jensen.
Wallop onto Jensen.
Oh,
the follow-up takes him out. That's the guy you said they had to get immediately. GBM will fall as well. No, Glacial or Prison goes onto him. He is perfectly fine, but he gets back up, and the tomb saves his life. I think I just called it 4 different ability names, but they're still going at it. The tether almost down Bunny Fufu here. Back and forth, the long range not really deterring NRG either as they dodge out quite well on these skills.
My goodness.
When they're in their team fights.
That was very exciting. C9 though with the Baron buff are still pushing.
What?
Kiwi Kid's got to be careful on the outside.
Oh, Cosmic into the W as well. I don't know if they're going to be able to make their way in, out. Do they want it? It looks like they'll be able to push C9 off here.
Yep, pretty dangerous still for Cloud9. They have to be a little bit careful. GBM's flanking around the outside. Can they get impact?
Claw in, they're on to Meteos. They don't want him to be able to ult into the fight. He'll throw it out immediately. Puts GBM in range for Sneaky, and Sneaky gets out. Here comes the fire back, trying to save Meteos. The blast in from Santorin. He gets a fire off, reloading now, gets a shield back to get to the team. There's the heal from OQ. They don't have too much chase potential until that shield comes back up. And now they're on the run, but they can't catch up with Quas's TP.
That was so close. Quas teleported as deep as he could, but they didn't have any deeper wards, and they can't quite cut off Sneaky for the extra kill. My goodness, what a good defense mounted there from NRG, and Jensen overextended.
Whoa, 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 Jensen just came back up. Oh, the boomerang gets him. Quas coming in. Sneaky turns back on to OQ, and I don't think Quas was able to grab the boomerang to continue the fight. So he backed off as well. A lot of little things going on in these fights, and people dropping every single time.
Hot damn, you thought we had a little intermission there, but they keep it rolling right into the replay. This is what we talked about. You have to get right onto Jensen. He flashes. Quas still got him with the very end of it, and GBM comes in, immediately blows him up. They thought he used his ultimate already, but he pops it here. Then everyone's in stasis except for Quas. So Cloud9 get to focus Quas down during the time where everybody else on NRG was invulnerable and could not move. Unlucky there for Quas. They lose their tank, so it's 1-for-1 at this point. The chase continues, though, and it went on for another 2 minutes.
We're going to get more here. No need to watch replays. 13-13, only a 3,000 gold lead after this brutal back and forth right now. 26 kills in the 36-minute game. And there's only going to be more. Sneaky very close to level 18, and he may just be the closest one along with Impact and Jensen right now as they just leveled up. Everybody's getting to those very, very core items too. Quas with the cloak, so he's looking to keep himself in lanes, pushing until he needs or is needed by the team. See where else is. Mortal Reminder as well, still got that built up now. It's getting close, Kobe.
I know, and I'm getting antsy because Elder Dragon is on the field. That usually will cause some fighting here. Impact, or GBM is waiting. Level 16 Lissandra, so he's finally got the last level in his ultimate. He's waiting in the wings, trying to come around and flank on Cloud9. He hasn't been seen yet. He's snuck all the way behind them.
Quas using his hyper to get in and out, charge this Nardbar. He's actually at 60%. That would be very good if they can get themselves into a fight right now. Cloud9 wouldn't be able to avoid.
Yeah, Cloud9 should just head up mid here and set up an Azir turret because they have top lane pushing. And Elder Dragon, you can't burst it down. Here goes a GBM though.
Quas is right there. Nar's out. Can he jump over the wall and get an ultimate? A separation onto GBM. Frozen Tomb could go down on himself. And he's actually going to Cloud, so he doesn't have to do much. Towards the top side, trying to get Sneaky. Quas does throw him back into the wall. And there's the culling coming in. Sneaky goes down, but so is GBM. And now it's going to be the fight for Jensen in the back. Jensen goes in, and OQ picks up a triple kill. And this is going to be Bunny Fufu, an auto attack, follows him through the journey. And an ace for NRG.
They're going to clean house, and they should be able to get the Elder Dragon afterwards. They're not going for it, though. They're trying to get an inhibitor, pings on the inhibitor. They would rather have the super minions instead of get the Elder Dragon off the field. It is only a 2-minute buff, so you can see why they're going for it. With death timers on Cloud9, they wouldn't be able to use it, but that is going to be something they have to worry about if they spend too long inside the base. You have to worry about the run back towards the Elder Dragon. So this is still a tense situation as NRG start to take apart Cloud9's base. 10 seconds plus on most of the Cloud9 members, so NRG did make quick work of that, and they should be able to get back in time to reset after that victory. Look at GBM, how many abilities he zones here with the invulnerabilities. Meteos actually knocking him into the team was great for GBM. He goes right to the back line, he gets out Jensen's ultimate, then immediately Zhonya's again, and that allows Quas to jump on his Sneaky. Once Quas gets over there and they take out Sneaky here, it's all over. Jensen tries to go in to finish out OQ, but Santorin is the consistent damage still on the team, even with OQ going down. The end of that magical journey didn't turn out well for him.
No light at the end of the tunnel this time.
Man. Glad we get more of these team fights, Rip, because they're headed right back at it. The Elder Dragon is going to be the site for the next conflict. Remember, now it is NRG with minions on the side waves that are going to be pushing. They're a tiny bit stronger. Super minion is also going up mid, so Cloud9 have to clear those. Teleport deep here from
whoa, in the mid lane.
Yeah, he's coming to flank him again.
He's gonna be right back into the middle. Flashes onto Sneaky. Actually tries to claw himself out as well. And it looks like GBM gets knocked over. A great shield from Kiwi, but he can't do too much more. The turret in the mid lane could turn the tide of this fight. Meteos very low. The culling still connects. The Guardian Angel on him is gonna bring him back up. Sneaky looking for a deadly flourish to lock down the team, but it's just gonna be the auto attacks as he reloads. A flash on the deadly flourish coming in from OQ, and Cloud9 come out of the base firing. Now it's going to be OQ onto Impact. OQ, shining like a star right now, is 1v1ing as people keep approaching in a staggered formation, but still 3-for-1. Cloud9 come out on top.
That was such a big outplay from OQ right there, killing Meteos, denying the jungler for Cloud9. Now they have to do this without Smite. They're a little bit more scared. They still have the numbers though, and they're still going to start it up. Impact should be able to tank this just fine, and Jensen can try to zone. Jensen's ultimate is coming back up on Azir. This makes it very difficult for OQ and Kiwi Kid to even get close. Kiwi Kid got caught!
It's a GA to get popped. Figured he'd want to save that, but it's just no chance with Cloud9's persistence. The Elder Dragon now goes over with the multiplication of the one mountain they had before.
I think we're gonna take another close look at that team fight because Jensen lived with maybe 50 HP after that GBM flank that he came from the backside. He got up the Azir turret and got out just barely in the nick of time for Cloud9. That allows Cloud9 to turn this around. Jensen, you can see he erects the Zero turret, then he cleanse splashes with barely any health and immediately runs to Fountain. Bunny lands the stun onto GBM, which allows Cloud9 to actually kill GBM before he can get off another invulnerability. Also a crucial moment in this fight. And then the turn comes. Meteos has GA. The rest of the team is on the chase. Impact's got the pillar spam, but Meteos here, he does not respect the damage of late game Lucian. Boom, boom, dead.
Impact does. He realizes that even with the members there, they back off, and now resetting. Where can they set the trap? Because that's what this game is about now. Who can clear out the vision? Who can set the best trap? And even if it's set, they lose one member, I feel like both teams are still going to go for the full brawl.
Yeah, the duration of this Elder Dragon buff is so short. It's already over half expired for Cloud9, and they're trying to use it to take the Baron. We want to transfer the end of this Elder Dragon buff into a Baron. They're trying to bait it here. They've got a pink ward. They're cutting off GBM, but GBM is the one who actually is getting into the middle here. Bunny is so low.
Deathly
all right,
flourish.
Cut off.
It's going to be Sneaky trying to stay there. He throws down the Death Blossom, actually gets the kill as well on his hit, and they're trying to spread Cloud9 thin, but they're moving as a pack so well that NRG can't really get themselves into the fight. They've been killed now as stragglers. 1, 2, and a third one possibly as Quas has to use his ultimate just to keep himself alive, and NRG are dropping like flies on the map.
Well, that is going to be Cloud9 wrapping the whole thing up here. They are able to use the end of their Elder Dragon buff. They pick off GBM in the side lane there, and then are able to get 2 more stragglers. Sneaky with almost max range W Jin sniping there to lock down Kiwi Kid, allow Jensen to pick him off, and there's nothing OQ can do at this moment. Cloud9, all they have to do is go back to Fountain, purchase, stock up on health, and then go for the late game siege. My goodness, 43 and a half minutes into the game, looking to make their push on the inhibitor turrets.
We almost got kills for minute, Kobe. We're close.
Woo.
We're close. Just need a few more. Yes, that is something to cheer about. This is a great game right now. I'm loving it. NRG really putting up a fight, especially coming off a loss against Cloud9 in the first game. The way it happened, the lead that we saw Jensen had on GBM, much more of a style change coming in here. And sticking with that Gnar in the top, switching up more around so Santorin could have a bit more power, GBM a bit more control. It seemed to work, but it's getting tough now. The rope's getting thinner, and it's about to snap here for NRG.
Sneaky does have his flash coming off cooldown now. So Sneaky has both summoners, plus there's the Mikhails on Bunny Fufu to keep him safe. Impact, though, he's the target. They're burning him down.
Subjugate was used. He goes down. That's very big. Curtain Call was used as well, and there's no follow-up onto this. GBM, only one more shot would be there, and you can see Quas takes it in Mega Gnar form. There's the hit onto Santorin. He's thrown back immediately and taken down. Jensen throws up a turret, takes down an inhibitor, takes down Santorin, and Cloud9 is looking to put the finishing touches here. OQ with the dodge for himself as well, and they're going to watch that middle inhibitor go down.
Whoa, the solo there, not going to be enough. All right, we'll just walk it in now, because that was ridiculous. They take out Impact, but then in the scramble to defend that inhibitor, Santorin gets picked off. Everything starts to crumble for NRG, and now it's going from bad to worse.
What a great use of this composition. Long range engage, deadly flourish, lockdown. And really the Jhin play over the past few weeks from teams has been fantastic. Here used once again by Sneaky to help the team pick up a win. Everybody all around playing well from Cloud9 as NRG puts up one hell of a fight in game 2. But in the end, Cloud9 will find the Nexus, and in 45 minutes, Cloud9 takes the series over NRG.
Woo! Definitely a banger, that one. NRG had a lot of proactive plays, a lot of good moves there. They had multiple good initiations, a lot of team fight zoning done by Quas and GBM to get them a couple of successes, but Cloud9 coming back over and over. The Jhin snipes, the Jhin picks, the Azir damage from Jensen.
Yeah, and we kind of touched on what plagues teams like NRG in those plays. We saw GBM going really hard, hit Sneaky on that flash ultimate over the wall in mid. What a sense of security they had. Even for us, we were kind of taken off guard when Cloud9 was still able to turn that around. And it seems to be that moment that plagues a team when they feel like we took Sneaky down. They're not going to be able to fight us now. Let's go in. That seems like a plausible idea. Nobody would go against that, but they can't seem to make it happen. And it's almost something you can't say, oh, we'll fix that. It just, you have to fix it in the moment. It's not something you can train.
Yeah, and this is really good news for Cloud9, though.
Yes,
smiles on all of their faces. They were in a 3-series loss streak, and they were all very tough teams that they faced. Now they're turning around saying, yes, we still are one of these top-tier teams.
Yeah.
We're going to clean it back up. They take down NRG, and they exit the week on a high note.
It's got to feel good as well. They pulled out something new coming in here, so that opens things up, gives teams something else to look at. We see NRG trying to switch it up each week, but hasn't been throwing teams off just yet. The picks and bans look much more solid from NRG, however, coming into today. Much more organized against countering, engaging, and what they wanted to do on the map. But like you said, for Cloud9, still looking for that top spot. This was crucial for both teams because now NRG has to work even harder to find a spot above the teams at the bottom of the table, too.
Yeah, NRG are looking at that 7th place spot. They're eyeing it. They want to separate between the bottom 3 teams so that they don't have to play in the promotion tournament at the end of summer split. Meanwhile, though, story for this game, I have to say, Sneaky flexing his muscles on Jhin, showing there's a reason he put so much time into that champion when it first came out. He was 12-2-12 to end that game. Very impressive performance from him because it wasn't just the kill score. It was all these long-range picks that he's getting with the W, allowing Jensen, who's there, to add the damage and finalize the kill.
That's the way they use it. I'll farm this side lane, then I'll come back and ult from down in the river. We'll get a kill. Just make it seem so easy as they get through. But right now, we're going to bounce it over to Freak, who's waiting on stage with Cloud9's AD carry for an interview.
Thank you very much. I am here with the Jhin main himself, Sneaky. Coming up really great with that one, actually. I want to talk to you about some of the specifics of Jhin builds because we see some people go crit, some people go armor pen. I want to actually ask you as a top-level player when you choose between the builds and what would make you choose?
Well, the Essence build gives you a bit more CDR earlier, but I think the penetration build is usually better, especially when against no armor building champions. Like, they only had Gnar that was building armor that was super late in the game. So I was able to build the armor pen build, which makes me one-shot basically everyone. So I think that overall it's just a better build.
Yeah, you did a whole lot of one-shotting people throughout that game, had a great score yourself, did wonderfully. So I want to talk to you about why you guys sometimes haven't done very wonderfully. You guys had lost 3 matches in a row, Liquid, TSM, and Immortals. Do you think something went wrong, or are they just like really stellar teams and you're trying to get as good as them?
It's a little of both. They're both Immortals and TSM are both really strong. I think like 6 of our 4 losses are to those guys. Yeah. So it's been a little rough these past few weeks since we played them so consistently. And now we're in a little bit not as tough of part of the season. So I think we should be able to get back on the road to recovery, and it should help us out a lot more because we can scrim both of them, which will make our entire environment better.
You get to practice against the best teams in the league. You get better yourselves. You will have an eventual showdown with Liquid. Your last regular season match is going to be that rematch against Liquid they took you last time. Is this something you're like really looking forward to, or are they just kind of another opponent? Do you have like any particular sort of teams you're looking forward to beating?
Well, it's definitely really important for us because they're so close to us in the standings. So I think it's going to be probably our hypest match so far. We're going to have to destroy them.
Of course, you got Envy and CLG right behind you as well. Like, there's a very, very tight pack now in the middle. As sort of a partial question, where do you rank all these teams? This sort of tight group of 4 with you, Envy, Liquid, CLG, and also, like, are you for sure going to stay on top of that and get that 3rd place spot?
I think it just depends on the next coming weeks. Practice has been going better overall, but it just depends if we can keep it up. And since we're playing the stronger teams, we should be able to, and that'll like toughen us up to be able to keep the top standings.
All right, we'll seek you good luck in staying at the top of the standings. Thanks for the interview. Let's toss it to the analysts.
Thank you very much, Freak. Cloud9 2-0 over NRG. So that's going to feel good off the back end of those few losses that have been strung together for them. And, granted, it is against a team that is well below them in the standings. probably exactly what they needed right now in terms of mentality to kind of look ahead and say, hey, if we're going to continue to make that case for being the top 3 teams or maybe even eventually beating Immortals and TSM, it starts here.
Yeah, I mean, but losing 6 out of 4 is definitely not the right approach
That left us a little
to looking at it.
The best part was that Freak confirmed it. Yes,
very
yes,
affirmative.
you did do that. All right, great. We're just misinformation to everybody. No, but diving into this one, as they did pick up the victory, I want to look at Champions League mostly because with the Taliyah, we saw it on the Apex TSM side that Apex adjusted by just banning the Taliyah out, saying we're not going to deal with that this time around. But NRG opts to ban the likes of Ashe over a Taliyah here on the red side.
Well, Azir was still open, so it's either you're gonna ban one and give them the other for free, or you're just gonna keep both open and take the lesser of whatever round they choose, because you're not gonna be able to deal with either, and that's exactly what happened in this game.
I'm not sure. I prefer to ban one just because the thing about NRG is they don't play Azir.
Right.
So if you don't ban Azir, the other team doesn't need to early pick it versus you, and they can build their comp and wait till last pick the Azir or the Taliyah, and you have to kind of plan around both, which just makes your planning a lot harder. Now, I do think NRG did okay with it, but just it changes up your priorities so much where, like, C9 can first pick Gragas. Like, if you leave Azir up versus another top team, you really can't afford to pick up the Gragas like that unless there's more OP mids up. And just NRG always has to, like, kind of draft themselves from a hole, and they did fine this time, but it's a challenge.
Well, if the circumstance happens that they don't play Azir and they get obliterated by Taliyah, you might as well just let the Azir go through.
Right.
Hope they take the Azir and don't have to deal with the Taliyah, because I can't imagine Ziggs.
We gotta you need to just let go of the Ziggs, Trump. Ziggs wasn't even in this game. Wasn't even hovered in Champions League. No.
Got beat up by
The Lissandra was what ended up coming through, as you mentioned, actually did better than maybe we had expected, because we were like, well, what are you going to take into this? Lissandra dealt okay.
It shows like game plan in the draft. The draft is very focused on the double TP with the Gnar, the Lissandra. It's very easy to set up a skirmish in the jungle or a dive in the bot lane with the Grey, so you really benefit from that, but we never saw it happen from NRG. But at least the composition, you know what they're trying to get
I was about to say, we almost never saw anything necessarily super well thought out or planned in this game from either team. It was so chaotic. It was so back and forth. There were so many skirmishes in the middle of lanes or in the middle of jungles with no objectives around them. And to kind of set the tone of the entire game, 9 minutes in, we've got this crazy extended fight that turns into a dive. 3 for 2 in favor of NRG here.
Right, it's off the back of a 2v1. The Gnar's in the long lane. This is a pretty standard punish onto the Gnar. And he's level up over Impact initially, I believe, and then they get the 1 kill. The TP comes in from GBM. And here comes Azir to try and get the Azir sec. And GBM has a really nice flash over the wall. And from here, usually you're going to slow down, but it keeps chasing. And now they turn back, and they get 1 kill. And then Azir sets up a turret, and they keep chasing through, and it turns in like, what are you guys even fighting over up here? It's just
There's
kills.
literally nothing to get.
You can't get anything after this. Like, maybe the Rift Herald, but even then, probably not. It's just one of these kind of situations where they see low people, they want to kill them, and it's just
GBM going in is the icing on the cake, which makes no sense.
They could have waited. They had all the time in the world to wait.
Well, I think the best way to describe it is kind of like a uninhibited game where they just let go of the sense and just focused on their desires to kill each other.
Yeah, exactly, the primal instinct.
Yeah, a primal game.
Usually people need reasons to fight. They're just like, nah, man.
Nah,
I just want the
fighting's fun, right? Yeah, and that's the thing. We had so many fights. We saw the kills score essentially locked even, right? All the way up to 19-19 in terms of kills with
but it would fluctuate. It'd be, I'm up 5, you're up 5.
Right. I mean, we saw NRG ace Cloud9 at one point, 37 minutes in the game, and then at 45 minutes, Cloud9 ends it, right? So 45 minutes, we have an interesting pickoff on the Trundle in the bot lane on Impact. And so already locked into a 4v5 here from C9. Meteos, very sweet heads-up play here to recognize his opportunity to jump on Santorin on the Graves here and zero him out, kind of even it back up before the real fight begins.
Yeah, this should be actually a bad situation for C9, given that they just lost a member and they're pushing up. But that flash body slam by Meteos basically saves that play. All NRG had to do was kind of wait for Meteos to get for GBM to get his recall off and heal. But instead they kind of get chased out and blown up here, and then there's going to be another couple kills to end the game.
Yeah.
But it was a situation like not clean. That's not like how you end the game with Baron usually.
Right, it wasn't planned to have Impact picked off in the bot lane, and then as NRG rotates over to defend the mid, that's where we'll get a pick, right? So that's the thing. The entire game was that way, so it wasn't super clean from either team.
Well, for me, the biggest thing that portrays that is when you just ace Cloud9. They're stuck in the mid lane. They're trying to wave clear, and instead of using the advantage that you've created with the super minions in the mid lane, they just try to TP behind them and try to end the game right there. It's like, that's not how it works. You're supposed to build on the advantages that you create and constantly use that to be one step ahead instead of just putting yourself back down and saying, oh, I think we're stronger, and trying to end the game.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's maybe something that you would look at a team like Immortals and say, okay, maybe they, that's a characteristic of Immortals where sometimes it looks like they're overreaching and they do come out of those situations ahead somehow, and that's super impressive. But that's not something that every team can do, right? You got to play a little bit slower. You got to play it a little bit smarter, and that's really what separates the people at the bottom of the ladder from the likes of TSM. TSM wins a fight, they go and take an advantage off of it, right? Yeah. They're going to make their 5K lead and 8K lead, so the next time they win a fight, then they can end it.
Well, I think a hero for the Cloud9 who ended up winning was the fact that their composition just clearly outscaled them. Even though we were talking about, do they really get outscaled with the double Fire Dragon? Does that really happen? Well, the Azir range makes it nearly impossible to actually get into the back line. You have nobody that can actually follow up. The cleanse, the Gnar is not going to find the TP, especially with the 4-second channel now, so it's going to be much harder to do that. But Sneaky was really the hero.
I was about to say,
Sneaky's picks were the hero.
Sneaky, who's taken player of the game here, 12, 2, and 12 on that Jhin. We forget about how useful that ultimate is, right? How much damage can come through so safely from an AD carry in those late game scenarios, whereas a Lucian, who's got to try and weave in there, definitely playing with a little bit more fire.
Right, and the thing about Sneaky too is as his team is losing their mind, he's kind of the one in the back just sniping away, doing sneaky things. Other than that one play at the beginning of this year when he dashed it on Lucian.
That was such an odd play.
Right, that's like the one time he does it and then the rest of the games, he's totally normal, regular Sneaky in the back line, picking up all the kills.
Yeah, very much one of the most consistent players that I've ever seen in the NA LCS, and he's still doing just that for this team, so good on him. They'll be happy to, once again, pick up a 2-0 victory over NRG. We talked about importance of 2-0s versus 2-1s, as those games will matter later in the season. With our first series in the books, though, we're going on a quick break. Stay with us. When we return, Liquid faces off against Echo Fox. We'll be back in just 3.5.